Willow Creek University was an expansive institution, a blend of modern amenities and historical architecture that stood testament to centuries of scholarship. The campus, characterized by its ivy-covered stone walls and sprawling lawns, exuded an air of scholarly reverence. But at the heart of this prestigious university lay the Libraria, Gothic masterpiece that seemed almost alive. With its towering shelves and dimly lit alcoves, Emma Thompson had always been drawn to this sanctuary of knowledge. As a literature major, she found solace among the stacks, surrounded by the scent of aging paper and leather. Each book contained whispers of the past, waiting for someone to uncover their secrets. This particular autumn evening was no exception. The air outside had grown crisp, and the leaves crunched underfoot as Emma hurried toward the library, eager to escape the growing chill. Inside, the atmosphere was comforting. The low hum of voices and the soft rustle of pages turning created a peaceful symphony that enveloped her. Emma made her way to her favorite corner, an old wooden table nestled between shelves, brimming with forgotten stories. As she settled in, the familiar weight of her books and notes in front of her, a wave of anticipation washed over her. Yet, tonight felt different. As the clock struck 10, marking the hour, a sense of unease crept in. The shadows in the corners seemed deeper, more pronounced, as if they were reaching out to her. Emma dismissed the feeling, attributing it to fatigue from her late-night study sessions. With a determined breath, she opened her laptop to continue working on her thesis about isolation in Gothic literature. Just as she began to type, a soft whisper brushed against her ear, so faint she could barely discern the words. "Leave." Startled, Emma looked around. The library was nearly empty, with only a few other students scattered throughout the aisles. She glanced at Tom Bennett, her friend and fellow literature major, who was seated at a nearby table, his head buried in a novel. "Did you hear that?" she called out, her heart racing. "Hear what?" Tom replied, looking up, puzzled. "It sounded like someone was talking," Emma insisted, her heart pounding. Tom shrugged, a skeptical smile playing on his lips. "It's just the library, Emma. You know how old buildings are always creaking and groaning? It's probably just your imagination." But as Emma tried to refocus on her work, the whisper returned, more distinct this time. "Find the truth." Determined to shake off her unease, Emma pressed on, but the words clung to her thoughts like shadows. The library felt different tonight, charged with an energy she couldn't explain. She felt an overwhelming need to explore the depths of this place she loved so dearly. In the days that followed, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that something significant was at play. The whispers had become a constant presence, echoing in her mind as she studied. When she returned to the library each evening, she felt the weight of unseen eyes upon her, urging her to uncover the truth hidden within its walls. One rainy afternoon, while huddled in the library with Tom, they stumbled upon a dusty old book tucked away in a neglected corner. It was bound in cracked leather, the spine barely holding together. Intrigued, Emma opened it and discovered it was a compilation of ghost stories linked to the university. "Look at this," she exclaimed, her eyes wide with excitement. "It's about a student named Julia Harrington who disappeared from the library decades ago." Tom leaned closer, scanning the pages. "It says she was researching the supernatural and claimed to hear voices in the library. After a storm, she vanished without a trace. Emma felt a chill run down her spine. What if the whispers are her spirit trying to reach out? We have to find out what happened to her. Tom hesitated, but then nodded. All right, let's dig into this. But if we get haunted, I'm blaming you. Over the next few weeks, Emma and Tom became obsessed with uncovering Julia's story. They scoured the archives for records and conducted interviews with faculty and staff, trying to piece together the puzzle of Julia's disappearance. Through their research, they learned that Julia had been a brilliant student, known for her passion and tenacity. However, her fascination with the supernatural had also made her a target for ridicule among her peers. Some believed she had gone mad, driven by her obsession, while others whispered that she had found something in the library that was never meant to be discovered. The deeper they dug, the more unsettling the tales became. Students spoke of flickering lights, cold drafts, and shadows that moved on their own. Emma felt a sense of urgency. It was as if Julia's spirit was beckoning her to uncover the truth, to bring her story to light. One stormy night, Emma and Tom decided to visit the library after hours, driven by a mix of fear and determination. Armed with flashlights and notebooks, they entered the darkened halls, the air thick with anticipation. The library felt different at night, the shadows stretching longer, the silence heavier. "Are you sure about this?" Tom whispered, his voice echoing in the stillness. Emma nodded, her heart pounding. "We need to see if we can find any clues about Julia." As they made their way through the aisles, the whispers began to swirl around them, growing louder, more insistent. "Find the truth. Do you hear that?" Emma asked, her pulse racing. Tom glanced around nervously. "It's just the wind, right?" But Emma felt something mar a connection to the past, a pull toward the truth. They reached the archives, their hearts pounding with anticipation and fear. The room was dimly lit, filled with dust-covered boxes and ancient tomes. Suddenly, as Emma reached for an old ledger, the lights flickered and went out, plunging them into darkness. She felt her heart race as panic began to set in. "Tom, I can't see anything." "Just hold on," he replied, fumbling for his flashlight. As he turned it on, the beam cut through the darkness, illuminating the room. In that moment, they both froze. A figure stood at the far end of the room, a woman in a flowing white gown, her face pale and anguished. Emma's breath caught in her throat. "Help me," the figure whispered, her voice a haunting echo. "Who are you?" Emma asked, stepping forward, drawn to the apparition. "I am Julia," the ghostly figure replied, her eyes filled with sorrow. "You must uncover the truth." Emma felt a surge of determination. "We will help you, Julia. But what do we need to do?" "Find the book. It holds the answers." Julia's voice faded, and in an instant, she was gone. Emma turned to Tom, her heart racing. "We need to find that book. It's the key to uncovering the truth." Over the next few days, Emma and Tom searched tirelessly for the book Julia had mentioned. They combed through every section of the library, poring over dusty tomes and forgotten manuscripts. The library had become both a sanctuary and a haunting ground, filled with secrets waiting to be uncovered. One evening, As they explored the archives, they stumbled upon a hidden door behind a row of bookshelves. "What do you think is behind there?" Emma asked, her pulse quickening with excitement. "Only one way to find out," Tom replied, pushing the door open. Inside was a narrow staircase that spiraled down into darkness. Emma's heart raced with both fear and anticipation. "We have to go down there," she insisted. As they descended, the air grew colder, the atmosphere thick with energy. At the bottom, they entered a small chamber filled with dust and forgotten relics. In the center of the room stood an altar covered in strange symbols that pulsed with a faint light. "This must be where they performed rituals," Emma said, her voice trembling. "They believed they could bind spirits to the library." "Why would they do that?" Tom asked, glancing around nervously. "To contain the knowledge, to keep it from escaping," Emma replied, feeling a sense of dread settle in her gut. But what if Julia was one of those spirits? What if she's trapped here because of this? As they examined the altar, Emma felt a surge of energy coursing through her. The whispers grew louder, wrapping around them like tendrils of fog. "Help me. Free us." With newfound determination, Emma and Tom prepared to confront the forces that had bound Julia and the other spirits. They gathered their findings and recited the incantations they had uncovered, feeling the energy in the room surge around them. As days turned into weeks, Emma and Tom dedicated every free moment to their investigation. The library had become their second home, each visit deepening their connection to Julia's story. The whispers grew increasingly clear, swirling around them, urging them to uncover the truth. One night, while poring over ancient texts in the hidden chamber, Emma experienced a vivid dream that felt more like a memory. In her dream, she saw Julia, her long hair flowing like shadows, her eyes filled with desperation. "Find the truth before it's too late," Julia's voice echoed in Emma's mind. Emma awoke with a start, the remnants of the dream still clinging to her. She felt an urgency to share this revelation with Tom. Rushing to the library, she found him studying at their usual table. "Tom, I had a dream about Julia," she blurted out, breathless with excitement. "She said we need to find the truth before it's too late." Tom looked up, his expression shifting from skepticism to concern. "Emma, do you really think this is safe? We might be digging into something we don't understand. I know it's risky, but we can't turn back now." "Julia needs us," Emma insisted, her determination unwavering. After some back and forth, Tom reluctantly agreed. They decided to research more about the asylum's history, hoping to find clues that connected Julia to the dark past of the university. Over the next few days, they delved into archives, speaking to older faculty members and local historians who could shed light on the university's history. Each story they uncovered deepened the mystery, painting a picture of a place steeped in sorrow and secrecy. As their research progressed, Emma felt an undeniable connection to Julia. It was as if their fates were intertwined, each revelation bringing her closer to understanding the ghost's plight. The atmosphere around the library shifted. Shadows lengthened and flickered, as if alive, testing their resolve. One evening, Emma and Tom returned to the hidden chamber, their hearts pounding with anticipation. Armed with the knowledge they had gathered, they prepared to confront the spirits binding Julia to the library. "Are you ready?" Tom asked, his voice laced with tension. Emma nodded, steeling herself for what lay ahead. "We have to do this for Julia and the others." They began to recite the incantations, their voices rising above the chaos that enveloped them. The room shook as the energy intensified, shadows flickering and swirling around them. Emma could feel the spirits responding to their words, their presence growing stronger. Suddenly, the ghostly figure of Julia appeared, her eyes filled with urgency. "You must finish what was started. Uncover the truth." "Julia," Emma cried, reaching out to her. "We're here to help you." The air shimmered with power as they continued to recite the incantation. Emma felt a connection to the spirits, their stories intertwining with her own. The room erupted in light, and Emma felt herself being pulled into the energy, the weight of history crashing down around her. In the midst of the blinding light, the shadows fought back, swirling violently around them. Emma felt the spirits resisting, their desperation transforming into anger. "Stop!" Emma cried, struggling to maintain her focus. "We're trying to help you." But the energy around them intensified, threatening to overwhelm her. Tom's voice was steady beside her, urging her to keep going. "We can do this, Emma, together." With renewed determination, Emma pushed through the fear, her heart racing as she concentrated on Julia. "Julia, show us the way. We believe in you." The shadows paused, as if considering her words. Emma felt a shift in the energy. It was as if the spirits were weighing their options. Julia stepped forward, her ethereal form shimmering with hope. "Trust in the light," Julia whispered, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Only then can we be free." As they recited the incantation once more, the light enveloped them, merging with the spirits. Emma could feel their stories intertwining with her own, the weight of their past pressing against her. "Let go of your anger," she shouted, channeling the energy into her voice. "Embrace the light." With one final surge, the darkness dissipated, and the spirits began to ascend, breaking free from their bonds. Emma watched in awe as Julia and the others found peace, their faces transforming from anguish to tranquility. As the last of the spirits ascended into the light, Emma felt a profound sense of relief wash over her. The library had transformed. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, replaced by a gentle warmth. "Did we do it?" Tom asked, breathless with awe. "I think so," Emma whispered, tears streaming down her cheeks. "We freed them." The library felt alive with a new energy, the whispers replaced by a soothing silence. Emma and Tom emerged from the chamber, a sense of closure washing over them. They had uncovered the truth and freed the spirits that had lingered too long. In the days that followed, Emma documented their findings, sharing Julia's story with the university community. The library transformed into a place of learning and remembrance, honoring the souls tied to its history. As Emma walked through the library, she felt a sense of belonging. The stories of the past had been honored, and the weight of history had been lifted. With each passing day, she returned to the library, her heart filled with hope. Emma's efforts brought the university community together, fostering a sense of connection and understanding. The library flourished, its atmosphere vibrant with life and learning. Emma knew that the stories of the past would continue to resonate, echoing in the halls of Willow Creek University. As she sat in her favorite nook, surrounded by the warmth of knowledge, Emma felt a sense of fulfillment. The ghosts of the past had found peace, and she had become a part of the library's legacy and eternal storyteller, weaving the threads of history into the fabric of the present. In the weeks following their harrowing experience, Emma and Tom took it upon themselves to curate a special section in the library, dedicated to the lost souls tied to the university's history. They gathered stories from students, faculty, and community members, creating a living archive that honored those who had come before them. One afternoon, while sorting through old manuscripts, Emma stumbled upon a letter addressed to Julia Harrington. It was yellowed with age, the ink faded but still legible. As she read the words, her heart ached for the young woman who had once stood in the same library, searching for answers. "Dear Julia," the letter began, "I believe in you and your quest for knowledge. Don't let them silence you. Seek the truth, and it will set you free." The words resonated deeply with Emma. Julia had not only sought the truth for herself, but for others as well. Inspired, Emma decided to host an event at the library, inviting students to share their stories and explore the theme of truth in literature. The night of the event arrived, and the library buzzed with excitement. Students gathered in the main hall, illuminated by the soft glow of candles and fairy lights. Emma stood at the front, her heart racing as she prepared to speak. "Thank you all for coming," she began, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "Tonight, we honor the stories of those who came before you as students, like Julia Harrington, who sought the truth and faced challenges that we can only imagine." As Emma shared Julia's story, she could see the impact it had on her audience. Faces turned toward her, captivated by the tale of a young woman who had fought against the odds to uncover the secrets hidden within the library's walls. The energy in the room shifted, filled with reverence and understanding. After her speech, Emma encouraged students to share their own stories, tales of struggle, perseverance, and the search for truth. One by one, they took the stage, revealing their experiences and connecting with one another in ways Emma had never anticipated. As the evening progressed, Emma felt a sense of community, forming a bond between those present that transcended their individual stories. The library was alive with laughter, tears, and the power of shared narratives. After the event, as the crowd began to disperse, Tom approached Emma, a proud smile on his face. "You did it, Emma. You brought everyone together." "Thank you, Tom. I couldn't have done it without you," she replied, her heart swelling with gratitude. As they cleaned up the space, Emma reflected on the journey they had taken together. From the first whispers in the library to the connections forged that night, she knew they had created something meaningful. In the months that followed, the library became a hub for storytelling. Emma and Tom continued to curate the special section, adding new stories and encouraging others to contribute. They organized workshops, inviting guest speakers and authors to share their experiences and insights into the power of storytelling. Emma's passion for literature blossomed as she delved deeper into the stories of others. She began to write her own narrative, intertwining her experiences with those of the students who had come before her. The library had transformed into a living testament to the importance of memory, truth, and connection. One afternoon, while sifting through more old manuscripts, Emma discovered a collection of letters exchanged between students who had attended Willow Creek in the early 1900s. They spoke of their struggles, dreams, and the weight of expectations placed upon them by society. Emma felt a sense of kinship with these voices from the past. They had faced challenges similar to her own, navigating the complexities of life while seeking knowledge and understanding. Inspired, she decided to incorporate these letters into their storytelling project, creating a bridge between the past and present. The library buzzed with activity. Students from different disciplines coming together to share their stories. Emma felt a sense of purpose, knowing that they were honoring the legacies of those who had once walked the same halls. As the academic year came to a close, Emma reflected on how much she had grown since her first day at Willow Creek. The library, once a place of solitude, had become a vibrant community where stories intertwined and memories were cherished. One evening, as Emma prepared for another storytelling session, she received an unexpected visitor. Professor Hart, the enigmatic literature professor who had often guided her research. He entered the library with a warm smile, his presence exuding a sense of wisdom and reassurance. "Emma, I wanted to commend you on the incredible work you've done here," he said, his voice filled with sincerity. "You've breathed new life into the library, honoring the stories that have been waiting to be told. Thank you, Professor. It means a lot coming from you," Emma replied, feeling a sense of pride swell within her. "I couldn't have done it without Tom and everyone who shared their stories." Professor Hart nodded, his expression contemplative. Stories have a way of connecting us to our past and shaping our future. You've created a space where those connections can flourish. As they spoke, Emma realized that her journey had come full circle. She had once been a student seeking knowledge, but now she was a storyteller, carrying forward the legacies of those who had come before her. That night, as Emma stood before a gathering of eager students, she felt a profound sense of purpose. Tonight, we celebrate not just our individual stories, but the collective journey we share as a community. Every voice matters, and together we can weave a tapestry of truth that honors the past and inspires the future. The library echoed with applause as students shared their tales, each one a thread in the rich fabric of Willow Creek's history. Emma knew that the spirits of Julia and the other lost souls were watching, their whispers now transformed into a chorus of hope.